Just give me some time and I'll get there. It doesn't matter if it's not new and trendy. I'll still come around to it. If it's good juice, I'll give it its proper attention. That good juice we're talking about is some of the highest rated all natural juice in the world by none other than the reviewer that sits on the top and nobody else is even close, Luca Turan. The perfumer behind this teaches perfume, has a rich heritage in perfume, is dedicated to naturals and intertwining and building accords, base accords in his perfume. Kiss. To me, this is all about the kiss. The simplicity principle that we all know is displayed in all the perfumes in this house. One of his most sought after compositions, 3 notes. That's it. It's about highlighting the ingredients, marrying them, letting them work and complement each other to bring a fume that you never even knew existed. That's what naturals can do, because each natural has its own facet, its own thing that it gives off to the composition. And we'll get into that one. But that was the lesson for me in this house overall. Welcoming Abdes Salaam, La Via del Profumo on Lucky Scent to my channel. I love that you're here. It's Brandon with Therapeutic Fragrance. Subscribe and watch the show. All right, what these are all natural. This is an overview of everything that we're going to just run through. These reviews are really short and simple. Remember the kiss thing? But they all contain this facet. I'm not going to, or these attributes, I'm not going to repeat them in every perfume. These are superbly, I mean superbly blended naturals. I've smelt so many here in the U.S. Last year, if they were on Instagram and they sold anything, I bought them. Only a few made it to the channel because I didn't do unboxings back then. I'm kind of glad I didn't, because the reactions were just like, I could do this stuff. I could buy the essential oils, put drops in, and call it perfume. That's what so many people are calling natural perfume. It is literally just buying essential lemon, no tinctures, none of the hard stuff, no base layers, no sophisticated accords, and so much of it going on. This is not that. This is perfume, all natural. He's taking his time blending, building, architecting the composition. So keep that in mind. This is the pinnacle of all naturals if you want to stay away from heavy base layers, ouds, musks, heavy resins of the sort, animalics. I haven't found any yet. They do have an oud line we'll get into, but it's not in this section that I'm talking about here. The ones I covered here, easy, well-blended perfumes. Thinkable, but he goes a little bit further in the base and builds some base accords, incense, what you can do with naturals. Only so much you can do with naturals when you leave the heavy resins and musks out. And which leads me to the next point, longevity. Yes, longevity is an issue. All of these were under 4 hours, except for one. I'll tell you the one when we get into the review. These are for women and men alike, unisex all the way. Women, this is the house to look at if you can only have naturals, or that's what you're into. You just want to do naturals. This is not the new thing of naturals going around in the US that sickens me. They're calling themselves naturals, but then when you dig in, they're like, oh, we only use safe synthetics. Huge thing going on in the US in the highest expensive spas and places. You go in there and they're like, oh yeah, we have the safest all natural stuff in here. And then I go look, I smell, I go, that's a synthetic in there. Well, it's a safe synthetic. It's not all natural. That's false branding. It's false advertising. They're going to get called out on it. I've gotten into fights with a few of them. Not fights, but conversations. I leave the conversation. I don't push back yet. I probably will later, because it is false advertising. And they know it because they can't get longevity projection. It's an easy way out. It's taking these same essential oils, put a little ISO-E in there, and all of a sudden you got that magic air that you used to in all the malls, all the little outlet stores that all the women go to. And they're like, oh, that smells. No, it's synthetic. That's not what these are. This is hard work at what this house is putting out. Believe me, I've been through it, especially when you're taking out ambergris and deer musk and oud and the heavy resins for longevity's sake. Just obviously those are the ones I like. That's what I've spent my money on. But we need to build this frame of reference so you know what you're getting into. It's worth it. There is nothing. This is the pinnacle of naturals right here. I said Abel was. This goes a step above Abel in ingredients. Yeah. All right. Of course, naturals, you do pay for them. We're going to start with Hindu Kush. I was going to stay away from this one. In the Western world, I don't know if he knows this. He probably does by now. I literally thought it was a marijuana perfume. I don't like the note in perfumery. I get enough of it. Every time I cycle, I get huge gasps and wafts of it on my cycle ride. It's just, I haven't seen it done well. I know a guy working on many, many different facets of cannabis. So we'll see if I change my opinion that way. But for the main notes that are available, I wouldn't seek this out. This is for the mountain range. I'll read you Wikipedia's definition in case you're curious, because I'm not going to do better than that. The Hindu Kush is an 800-kilometer long mountain range that stretches through Afghanistan, from its center to northern Pakistan and into Takistan. It forms the western section of the Hindu Kush Himalayan region and the westernmost extension of the Pamir Mountains and the Karakoram and the Himalayas. That's what it is. A lot of stands in there. That's my little chuckle. I got my little Lucky Scent vials. I got this in the Lucky Scent order with LA whatever. And, worn them all a couple times. Notes are spice, woody notes, incense, ginger, caraway, nutmeg, and pepper. Honestly, very simple to me. Citrus that turned into incense from the first wearing. Second wearing, not much more. I smelled it even more careful to pick up more notes. Again, superb blending. Very lightly used on the spices. They were all there, but very soft aromatics. The citrus was the strongest thing that stood out, and it wasn't even that strong at all. Incense, very soft. What I picture is the monks in the mountains when you're hiking, just burning incense as you're coming up to those points, just getting that air with you there, not directly over the incense, but just coming in and getting it with fresh air. That's what I pictured. I don't know. I've never done it, but yeah, that's what I had for that one. Simple fragrance, well done, well executed. If you're into that thing, fun wear. I give it a score out of 80 out of 100 and 50-50 on unisex. Tabac is the second one. This is the tobacco vanilla of the line with some spices. And from the bottle, that's what you get. Very good, I want to say aquatic, wet air. Definitely not an aquatic that you buy in designers. But a wet, not quite ambergris, but headed that direction. Air, almost ocean, more lake, but just crystal crisp lake air. The notes, again, tobacco, vanilla, tonka bean resins. Labbed in them some spicy notes. Very light. Had the same effect as the Hindu Kush when I wore it, with a little more spiciness to it. The tobacco very softly used, very close to the skin sense. I would be spraying like over 10 sprays of this stuff on. It's so lightly handed to just get the even some denseness out of it. It's Japanese style. All these are Japanese style fragrances, which are meant to be, close to skin. People have very intimate fragrances. People have to get very close to you to smell them, and people won't be able to smell it who aren't in your scent bubble. It's kind of the philosophy there. On this one, the labdanum is very well pronounced. I'm being picky here now, saying that was a bit too much for me, but it not really, but it stood out. Everything else blended in. It was the only note that stood out for me in the tobacco. And then the dry down was that incense with sweet tonka and tobacco, just barely floating off of it as a skin scent. Again, well blended. I would score this at 84 out of 100, 50-50 all day. Next fragrance is Holy Water. It is what it is. You'll know this is frankincense. I bought some fresh frankincense I've showed on the channel from the Insert Oud sell that I did on the Black Friday, and it smells nothing like the frankincense that I got from the EO companies. Totally different. I've even had some of the women who sell EOs kind of like, cause, you're into essential. Literally, when I say oils and oud, they think I'm the next doTERRA, and that's what I'm into, the triangle marketing essential oil stuff. And I'm just like, you guys don't get it. You guys are so far off. And then I had some on me. I'm like, smell this. They put it on. They're like, oh, that's frankincense, but it's not. It's like times 10, fresh, crisp, clean, pungent. That's what this is. That's what Holy Water is. It gives off that top of a really good Lubon. And it should. It's 175 50 ml. Orange blossom, orange rose are other notes that are involved with the frankincense and the sandalwood. Sandalwood never comes through. It just intertwines everything. In the heart, the rose aromatics barely come through. Not sharp, not crisp, not metallic, just as an aromatic and a skin scent. It won't overtake that frankincense. Frankincense is the story. Should be. It's called Holy Water. Easy reviews for me. Again, price on this one. I know what frankincense costs for the pure oil. I have to give it an 86 here. I just can't jump it up with that price there. So 86 out of 100, 50-50 all day. A little bit darker one here, Mecca Balsam, some tuberose in it. Tobacco, rose, benzoin. Out of the bottle, it's just a beautiful, beautiful smell. Agarwood, incense, labdanum, and tonka bean. Finish it off. What I get from the bottle and then put on skin, again, my skin just has a way of soaking naturals. So even though it smells pungent from bottle, once I apply it, yeah, it's pungent at first, but within 10 minutes, my skin just has a way of soaking up naturals and like eating it for itself and pulling whatever goodness is in there from it. This is blended. Again, I can't say that enough. On top, smoky, mean, and the rose comes through really good, really strong rose. Huge balsam out of the gate on the top of this. Tuberose really only offers the slightest of florals, which is amazing. That balsam plays that smoky balsam plays the top of this for the most for me. And that tuberose and rose really just play an underpinning to it. It's an intense medicinal wood smell that you get from it, almost like a Palo Santo kind of smell, but not quite as minty fresh, if you will. Everything floats off of that wood after the heart and the dry down. A nice tobacco incense plays off with some florals. Beautiful scent. Labdanum plays a really strong aromatic off the top of it as well and intertwines everything. The very end of it dries down to that tonka and the incense. You can kind of see his theme that he goes down. I mean, incense is really one of your main accords that you build with the natural, but it has that medicinal layer with it this time. And very dry, very woody, a bit smoky as well. The dried down. Beautiful scent. Projection and sillage are the best on this one for me in my personal space. Very meditative. I'm going to go an 89 out of 100 on this one. This might lean more masculine, but I'm keeping it at the 50-50. All right, the one that blew me away, Oakmoss. Unbelievable. Vetiver. Sandalwood. And you already know Oakmoss. It's called Oakmoss. Who knew? Who knew? You smell all three notes. The sandalwood, of course, isn't this pure sandalwood. It's just this binding glue that accentuates, Oakmoss accentuates the vetiver. Wore this one 3 times. It's 220 for 50 ml. Very light, but so refreshing. Could be said one of the most perfect spring to summer fragrances ever. Just meditative, transcending, all that. Easy to wear, non-offensive. Just one of the easiest to wear perfumes that you can't believe the fragrance that comes from the 3 notes, what they're accomplishing. All ingredients we love, but just really showing the facets of the 2 ingredients, Oakmoss and vetiver, especially sandalwood, just really bringing out all of them with that. Not even a really over-the-top butter, just what sandalwood does in perfume. In a way, it has a shipwreck feel to it with the Oakmoss, missing that sharp citrus, obviously. It's vegetal and bright. It's a green wonderland. After a long day's hike, you just see this whole field of green with the breeze, sun setting, cooling off, and you just take in that air. The power of the KISS principle is in this. The lesson for all perfumers watching this, get a sample of this one at least. This is an affair on my 3rd wearing. I wore a really nice Ruckus composition perfume. And Ruckus is just that next level of vetiver. I can't imagine if he did a Ruckus in this, an upgraded version of this. So it wasn't fair. I still love this. I wish I didn't have that Ruckus. Literally had one wrist, that vetiver, just trying it out. That was called vetiver, but I knew after I put it on, I'm like, this is Ruckus in this. And the note said Indian vetiver, which is Ruckus. And then this one is just your grassy, vegetal, bright vetiver. And I can't imagine what this would be with that. That being said, this would have broke $90, but that $220 just a bit overpriced for what this is and what I know you can get those 3 ingredients for. That way, I'm at an 87 out of 100 on this, 50-50 all day long. $175 for 50 ml, amber chocolate, vanilla, some tonka, some chocolate. 3 notes again. Enough said. I'm done. Review's done. Just kidding. It's a nice, good chocolate. Amber plays well. It blends well. It does transition. This is a smell straight out of a chocolatier shop. Tonka bean and vanilla are the base for that amber accord. They switch places. You get the chocolate on top and the vanilla on the bottom. When you put it on, the dry down, they flip. Chocolate burns away as the vanilla overcomes it. Fun effect. Seen it before in perfume. Fun to have on it. I see a lot of women, even your children who want to start wearing perfume, starting them on something like this. You know, you're putting something safe on their skin. To me, this didn't perform as much magic as the Oakmoss 3 ingredients did, but well done fragrance. It achieves exactly what it's called. I explained it. Can't explain it again. 82 out of 100 is my final score. 50-50, I'll still put it at. All right, this one was almost a 5-time wearing fragrance. I wore it 4 times. Had to put it in the atomizer to make sure what was going on and everything. It's the advanced chocolate fragrance, Cuoio Dei Dolci, 220, 50 ml with castoreum, tonka, tobacco, cocoa, mandarin, mice or sandalwood, ylang, and vanilla. So this 220 is worth it. They're putting Mysore in there. They're putting castoreum in there. Now we're stepping up the ingredients. Heavy, smoky menthol incense off the top. Very pleasing. Exceptionally well blended. One of the best incense accords I've smelled out there. Fortunately, Harem Greens hides after that, but that thing has animalic incense. This is more gourmand and smoky as well. Just, it's a well done incense fragrance. One of the best accords I put my nose on. It's like, obviously he's using the incense that's in the other ones, but he just built it up in this perfume. And it just works really well for me, off my skin. I love this one. A leather starts to develop right when you start to wear it on skin. A leathered vanilla and dusted cocoa with aromatics of tobacco. The Mysore twang that we all love shows up in the heart of the fragrance, which means there's a really good dose of Mysore in there. When you get that, usually that's hidden. A lot of times it's hidden. They're just using it as a glue when it sticks out. They're using that's expensive and nice. That's what I prefer. I love that twang. All the above stays encapsulated in an incensed sweet smoke as its own fume to me. This is the one that's longer than 4 hours off my skin, with the last 90 minutes slowly burning into a normal church incense off the skin as it fully dies out on the wear. All that leathered, yummy tobacco love, it just goes straight into that church incense chords that were in his other compositions. This one almost pulled the 90, 89 out of 100. Just couldn't justify it. Again, the price. This guy's got some expensive juice. I don't know if he's paying import fees to the US or whatnot. But when we're at $4 an ml, my critiquing has to go up on that ingredient thing. Has to. That's just that's an expensive value there. I don't know if his stuff ever goes on sale. I don't think it does. I don't think he has to. This is the pinnacle for all natural. So if you're into all natural perfumery, there's not many other places to go until you want the heavy resins and the heavy bases, which I know a lot of women that don't. So, I mean, I say a lot of women, this is your place. This is your house right here. It's good perfume, 50-50. You and yours be safe. Hope you like that. Quad times 2, 8 reviews. That won't be normal. It's just because it was this house. I've been wanting this house on my channel since the very beginning. I've been on this guy's site. It's one of those sites that's hard to navigate. They just need help. Like, okay, I get you do all the classes, you do all this, but there's a lot of natural people need help with their websites to make it easier to buy from. Hint, hint. But I got there. I finally got there. I didn't know La Via del Profumo was him. Abdes Salaam, that's his site, Via del Profumo on Lucky Sense. Keep that in mind. Even in my live stream last week, I didn't even know the difference of the two guys until I sat down and really researched it. There we go. All natural, highly rated by Luca Turin. I love the stuff. He doesn't care about price as much as I do. I'm watching your dollar because I'm spending my dollar. All right, everyone. Love you guys. Be blessed. I'm out.